can meditation help cure agoraphobia?
Agro?
I think it's agoraphobia, fear of outside.
Agoraphobia. I know agoraphobia is fear of heights. Is she spelling it correctly, or am I just wrong? What is
Agoraphobia is fear of going outside, no?
I know
That might be
agoraphobia.
that you are. Could you, Miriam, specify?
Agoraphobia. I know. Agoraphobia I thought was fear of heights because it's the same as the Pali word aga, which means height or pinnacle. Maybe I'm wrong. Agoraphobia. Don't know. Maybe we can get back to that. Sorry.
I think yeah, it can
Right.
be taken more general, even if we don't know the word agaro.
For sure. Go ahead.
If practiced properly, it can certainly. Not all kinds of meditation can probably cure phobias, and it depends, of course, of the intensity you or the time that you spend meditating. And the most important of the willingness and the capability to let go. It's probably so that a phobia could be cured rather quickly with meditation, but when the mind is still attached, and when the mind clings to this attachments or clings to being attached, then a phobia cannot be let go of. And so you don't have to work only on the phobias, but more even on the letting go part of it. Because a phobia is nothing, as far as I understand the term, but I'm not a specialist, it's nothing that is chemical, or so it is a quite strong neurosis, and like a really deep-sitting, intense fear, in this case of going out in public places. So yes, when you meditate, vipassana meditation, and note every single moment, and you note every fear that arises, and you know it arising and ceasing again, then you might be able to understand it, not understand in terms to question where does it comes from, why do I have it, and all that, because this is off topic. This is not important for that question. Important is to understand when it is there and when it is not there. And even in 5 seconds time, let's say, or 10 seconds time, there will probably, if you say now with your knowledge of now, you would say, well, all that 5 seconds, all that 10 seconds, there was the agoraphobia. But in reality, there was probably 1 second or even less of agoraphobia, and another second of the thought, oh, I have fear, and then even something different, and another thought came up. So when you when you are honest with this and try to really let go of the idea that I have this, then I would say yes, possible.
Yeah, I mean, just to expand on that, the real problem, as you said, what you're saying is that it's the identification. Fear is one thing. Fear is anger-based, but fear, as with all of our defilements, are rooted in delusion, in ignorance, in the idea that they are an entity. One, that they're ours. Two, that they have a core. For an example, in this case, you will say, I have agoraphobia, which we now learn is an anxiety disorder characterized by anxiety in situations where it is perceived to be difficult or embarrassing to escape. So someone else is just fear of being in public places, being around people and so on. So you think that you have this condition. So first of all, you say it's mine. Second of all, you say it's a condition. And this goes with really anything, whether it be physical diseases or mental. More critically, with mental sicknesses, people who are depressed will say, I have clinical depression, or I have this kind of, I'm bipolar, or I'm autistic, or X, Y, or Z. So we give it a self of its own. We give it a life of its own, when in fact, as Palanyani was saying, it's just moment-to-moment experiences. So really, the fear is a very small thing, and not of any consequence, not of much consequence. What is of much more consequence is the clinging to it. So if you're just saying to yourself, afraid, you'll come to see that it's just fear, no? And it doesn't have any significance. It doesn't mean that you should or shouldn't go outside. I would say one thing, that probably if more you meditate, the less interested you are in going out into public places. So it's not like, yes, then I'll be able to go out and be a party animal or a social butterfly. So on. No, not likely. You may have less fear of going outside, but you'll have much more distaste for going outside, or disinterest in going outside. So people might not even notice the difference, but you'll notice the difference yourself, because not out of fear, it'll be out of wisdom, the realization that there's a reason that these fears arise, because there's so many defilements involved in public appearances and situations, society, and so on. All of our defilements become multiplied when we're around other people. And so, this is why we develop fear of them, because of the feeling of being inadequate, or memory that we did stupid things, said stupid things, that we were socially inept, and so on, and of course many other reasons. But it all has to do with the complexity of social interaction, which to some extent can be mitigated, but in the end it's generally just to be avoided, because you can't stop people from being silly. You go to a social situation and say, I'll just be mindful, but everyone's drunk and hitting on each other and fighting with each other and saying silly things, doing silly things. In the end, you just decide it's better not to leave the house.